Is there a wall between who you are now and who you want to be? You're in the right place. Hey, my name is Monica. Welcome to Flow State Freak podcast, where we cover the best practices and concepts to flow over that wall. Create lasting change and discover your formulas for happiness and success right now. Live a life true to yourself and not the life others expect of you. Okay, are you ready? Here is part 2 of a conversation with Annette and Daniel from Chase for Adventure. If you haven't listened to the first part of this, be sure to hit pause and start that one first. That is episode 6, and it's vital to hear that first, to know how Annette's rock bottom and her intense emotional pain led to a decision to spend the rest of her life either 6 feet under or to spend it living a life true to herself and take massive action right away. She tells us how it wasn't courage that got her and Daniel out of their difficult and depressing life and into the life of their dreams. How there wasn't any courage to it at all, actually. And so if you haven't heard that yet, get back over and listen to episode 6. And if you've already tuned in for that episode, you remember what it was that got them through, right? Okay, good. We ended talking about how learning from others and not having to figure everything out for ourselves and on our own in any area of your life, and how you can learn from others to save yourself pain and confusion. Let's talk about comparison, envy, and how to use that for good in your life, not stress, sadness, and pain. Oh my gosh, yeah, that comparison, that definitely used to make me feel pain in that comparison, but I shifted on how I started thinking about like seeing like Instagram feeds like you guys. Oh my gosh, I wish I had a significant other. I wish I was traveling the world, all these things. And instead of feeling pain around those, I look to them for like inspiration or to like test. Like instead of envy, use it as a gauge, as a compass. Like, hey, I'm feeling strongly about that when I look at that. Why? Because is that something that I want? And go, okay, like, is this possible for me? Is this something I really want? And right now, traveling full time, like, isn't in my realm. Like, I actually want to stay close to home with my family. I got some snowboarding I got to do this year. And I don't think I have a whole lot of snowboarding in Thailand, but
none.
No. So yeah, just gauging in and like seeing you guys like on Rayleigh Beach and all this, it's like, okay, yep. Instead of this like envy or focusing on the gap of where I am now and what I don't have or where I don't want to be, it's inspiration. And I use it as like a check to make sure if I'm consistently seeing this and I'm feeling emotional response in me, it's like, all right, let's put this on the list and let's start making that happen for me. Instead of feeling this pain and just, doing this cycle loop backwards of this is where I'm not and just creating more and more pain and, discomfort with where I'm at. Do it as like a, cycling forward. Like, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time pursuing anything anymore that isn't aligned with what I really want and isn't true to me. I spent how many years trying to get that marriage, get that job, get that house, get that car. And then I went, oh crap. Do you know how hard it was to undo all of that?
Hard.
It didn't take as long, but it was a lot harder almost to undo it than like to do it and get it. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to pursue anything now that isn't like the best of the best and what I'm super excited about and what I know is for me. And I use that by watching other people doing things. And then when I feel that reaction that some people might start seeing as envy or jealousy, be like, no, that's an awakening. Your hunger that you're talking about. Wait a minute. This is me starting to feel hungry. This isn't jealousy. Stop focusing on the gap, but get hungry, I guess. So,
great.
Yeah,
and that's actually a conversation that Daniel and I have because we are in a numbers game kind of industry where people, can see your Instagram followers and can see how many subscribers and how many views you're getting. the comparison game is real even for us.
Yeah.
And we're here living what other people deem a glamorous life. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think our life is amazing. And I'm so grateful for everything that our life has granted us and the life that we've created together. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't look at like Karen Nate or Lassa Blanc and go like, well, they have 1 million subscribers and they're making, you know, $100,000 every 3 months. I'm like, well, we make $15,000 a year, but at least we're able to travel.
Yeah.
You know? So our comparison game still happens. It's just at a different level. And you're exactly right. It's hunger. Now I look at their income reports and I'm like, if they're doing it, I can. Yeah. That's my goal for when I am 30. I want to be making $1 million. Melissa Griffin, she just came out on like Business Insider that she's 28 and made $1 million by the time she's 27. I want to make $1 million by the time I'm 26. But
you guys are making me feel old now.
Sorry. No, but you see, it's that hunger, you know, and that's what's important. And I think that you're perfectly right in saying, you know, that awakening. We met these people who were 22, 23, and they stayed at the best resort in Krabi. They are entrepreneurs. One is like a social media agency person.
They are so cool. And they're so passionate about the life that they live. It was so cool talking to them. Sorry, I don't know where you were.
No. I'm just like, even the feeling of like feeling behind almost, there's a lot of pressure in that industry too. Some of these 16-year-olds have been on social media since they were 12 and they're making more money than we are. And I'm like, damn it, I thought I was like cool and I was ahead and I did all the right things and I'm still not where these people are and they're only 16. You know, those feelings still happen.
Yeah. We're so human. They're going to happen almost in anything because I think innately every single person feels that, I don't know, I've told myself this and I think I hear it in other people, like I'm not as far as I thought I would be where I am now. Or like, I am unmarried. I had to undo that divorce. I am now unmarried, 31. Like, you know, like, okay, I do want to have kids. Like my body's eventually going to say that's not a good idea. But you know, no pressure, no anything aside because I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on. But I have to tell my clients this all the time, like when they're working on their business or we're creating something, that everything takes at least, I'd say twice as long as you actually think it's going to take. But yeah, seriously, like we're like, oh yeah, no, I'll have that written for you tomorrow. And then it's like, oh God, I didn't realize how long that was going to take. I've been working on this for 3 days and I just finished it. It's like, that's fine. It took the time that it needed to take to make it great. And it was worth that time. Absolutely. But I think all of us just feel this gap of like, we're not further along than what we should be. And I have a podcast episode coming up about the word should. I should be this. I should have this. I should. We shouldn't anything, but I'll totally I don't even want to start on that thing right now, but yeah.
This is actually going to be like 4 podcast episodes.
I know. I'm looking at the I'm like, I think we're at about an hour now from when we actually started talking, but yeah, no, we might make it into 2. But it's, again, so much better. Like we just let it go organic. We didn't press or start or try to mold it into whatever it needed to be. So then it just became something even greater. So
yeah, it wasn't any shoulds. It just was what it was.
We were just hanging out. We're talking. Holy cow. But I do have actually a couple questions left that I just have to ask you. I don't want you guys to leave without asking.
No, still here.
Awesome. I think that the first one would just be, I can see it in you guys and just hearing from where you started, there's an amazing transformation. But like, what is the transformation that you've seen in each other?
Oh.
That's a good question. Gotta think about this one.
I mean, I can hear it. I can definitely hear it in just, you know, the anxiousness, the depressed, the, you know, the longing for not having something, the scared, but hitting that pain threshold. But I mean, you guys have been through so much, I'm sure, personally, you know, not just professionally, but personally, either whether it's with each other or just giving yourself more space or grace or kindness. I mean, that kind of life change has got to have, you know, something very significant and deep. Like that's not just like a, now we're happy because we're in Thailand, you know?
Yeah, no. I think really the change that I saw in Annette was after she had called the suicide hotline.
Yeah.
What we do now really started from a byproduct of her fighting for what she wants out of life. And I think that's been the biggest difference is watching her grow as an adult and just really take life by the horns. And it doesn't matter what has come around the corner. She takes it as if it's a game of Tetris. You never know what piece is coming, but that woman is reacting as soon as it comes out, and she's exactly what she wants out of it. And I love that. Like, just watching her come at it with such a passion and such the fire that you guys were talking about. This woman has that.
Also known as, he calls me a workaholic and pries me away from my computer so that I get basic life necessities. Like, Annette, when was the last time you had a sip of water? You know you didn't eat breakfast.
Oh God, I forget to eat and drink all the time. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'll do that 3 hours later. Oh, okay, hold on. One more thing. 2 hours later.
Yeah. That happened tonight before this. I was like, Annette, we should take a break and go like grab some food we haven't eaten.
Before
Yada yada.
call.
An hour later.
Yeah.
I'm finishing up a graphic for Instagram. You were just finishing up a graphic.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the fourth one.
But I will say I am not the only one who has had transformations, obviously, during this journey. I want to say that, you know, you have actually changed so much, babe, since even before we started doing this. For one, you're someone who's a lot more unapologetic than before we started traveling. I think before, you were just such a loving person toward everyone, and you've always almost been afraid to hurt people's feelings. Whereas now, you've kind of grown a backbone. You are you. You told me what? No. You gave me this price 5 seconds ago. That's the price I plan on getting. You know, you just don't take, you know, crap from people, and you've grown into that so strongly. Also, you used to be, I think, really focused on passions that people would bestow upon you versus like finding your own groove. And I think that since traveling, you've been just so focused on the things that you're passionate about, unapologetically. Also, you know, you love motorbikes, and now you're like, I'm going to go on a motorbike now. That's it. Game over. And you know that you're going to get to that point in our business where then we're able to fund your passion, you know? And I love that. And also, he's grown. I think that this is an important time to mention. Yeah. He didn't get a degree in like video anything. He didn't. I think in the beginning was more so seeing the desperation I had to get out of our situation, and goes like, you know, I love Annette. I trust you. And, you know, I do like traveling, I guess, and we should do this. Whereas I feel like now, he learned how to video edit for our YouTube channel on YouTube. That drive that you have to learn something from 0 to 100 now, and to do it with like pride and vigor and desire, I think is really admirable. So I think that that's how Daniel's transformed. And in a million ways, our relationship has blossomed into such a beautiful, I mean, it was always beautiful.
And it's always been like open and honest, but I don't know. I think we've always seen the real side of each other, but watching each other grow through that and really turn into who we are as adults. Like, we met each other as kids. She was 19 and I was 20. Like, I was still like drinking in college. Like, that's what I was concerned about. And
I had just started my second year of college.
Yeah.
I was a baby.
And to be here owning our own business and working together and traveling together and experiencing life together full time, it's been really amazing to see the different aspects that us making just the decision, not even the lifestyle that we live, just making the decision to go after what we want, go after what we're passionate about.
And being okay with giving each other tough love. I think so too. Because before traveling, I think that, you know, we were just such a product of everything that was going on around us, that it was just, you know, it was him and I against the world. Whereas now, we're creating our own world, and all of, not issues like between our relationship, but like stresses of building a business, stresses of traveling. Hey, did you get those visas? All of these things are now coming from within us. There's nothing that we can blame our frustration on. And to be able to grow in that together, to deal with, you know, while we've been traveling, we've been depressed again. We've gone through anxiety. At one point, I kicked you off of Chase for Adventure.
He's your video tech guy. How could you do that?
Dude, oh my goodness. So I'm going to make a
camera doing a selfie video, Annette, or what?
Yeah, right.
I didn't know how to video edit it. tell the story a little bit better, but
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about in one of our Nomadic Mondays is when you shouldn't become a digital nomad, when you're running away from your problems. And
Yes.
because when you come out on the road, your depression, your anxieties, they're going to become much worse simply because you have all of the time to focus on yourself.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. I ran away from X, Y, and Z, and I was refusing to face it. And it just spiraled, and I became extremely depressed. I quit nicotine X amount of years ago. And then all of that was coming back up, and I was having issues, and I was just dragging Annette along for it and not excited about Chase for Adventure. And she was just like, well, if what you need is to be off of it, then you're off of it. It was, I don't even remember how you worded it.
I was kind, but not as kind, because at this point, Chase for Adventure was my baby. And I was putting all of this effort and time and work and going on Melissa Griffin's course and building sales pages and not knowing what the hell that I was doing. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't like cupcakes and rainbows for me either, Daniel. So if you can handle this, then you just need to handle yourself. I'm taking Chase for Adventure from now. So I didn't react the best.
But it was the tough love that was needed. I remember exactly where we were. We were in Williamstown, Australia, sitting looking at Hobson Bay. I remember the rock that I had my foot on when we had the conversation. We're able to share those moments of tough love that really rock your world. And I don't know.
And grew us stronger because since then you put your batteries on for Chase for Adventure. It became his passion too.
That's exactly it. And I don't know. I needed a kick in the back to grow my backbone and mix it with all the experiences we've had out here and be like, okay, this is my passion too. This isn't just me following my wife gallivanting around the world. And
I think that conversation actually forced you to find your passion, which at that point was motorbikes. You're like,
at that point,
always.
As if it's not. But yeah, she loves motorbikes, if you couldn't tell.
Every fiber, baby. But I love him. And, I think that that's like the biggest thing also. I'm sorry, we've digressed into like 70 topics of like loving my husband. But, I think that that's all about, relationship. It's the give and take. I've been strong when he's been weak. He was my rock when I was telling him, hey, I need you to hide all of the guns in the house because I want to kill myself. Him having to come home from work, not knowing whether I was going to be dead on the floor, having friends be suicide watch when he was the only income in the house for those 2 months, and going through a time and period when he was like, you know what, Annette, you feel really passionate about this vision and dream. I'm going to help you achieve that. And, there's going to come a time in my life where I'm going to be doing the same thing for you. Yeah. And so that's the transformation. Amazing. We've grown even stronger together.
You guys are so resilient and badass, like seriously.
Thank you.
But as soon as you're talking about this, it definitely hit me that these people that we see that are doing amazing things, like you guys are, even who you aspire and look up to, these people, they didn't get there without usually a pain, a rock bottom, a realization, something big and something hard. And so for, Daniel hitting like depression and stuff while traveling, I know that no matter where we are, we take our states, we take our story, we take our pains with us. We think that, oh, once I get this big, beautiful house, it's going to get better. If I take this trip or if I travel the world, that it's not going to follow me. I get a fresh start, like it's a new me, but everything comes from our state of mind, how we've trained it, how we've programmed it. Like seriously, I've been on vacations that I thought would fix my relationship with a significant other. And I look back and I'm like, yes, the Bahamas were beautiful, but that was painful. Oh my God, that sucked. It didn't, us getting out and away and going to this beautiful location that we've been oogling over every time we'd fly a plane over it didn't change anything because we brought with us whatever it was that we had. Like you have to work on it internally or whether it's together or personally. Like having things doesn't solve our problem. We think I'll be happier when I take the trip, when I have the house or the car or that significant income. But if we can't cultivate that within us now, we're not going to have it even when we have that item.
Absolutely.
I would even push you to say just trying to attain happiness in general. Happiness isn't something that you attain. You can't be like, oh, check, I've got it in my pocket. It's something you're always striving to, and you just have to find the happiness within the moment and really be able to live a life that's present and not always chasing.
Yes.
It's good to be chasing, but for for the sake of betterment.
And passion, because like I think that Daniel touched on this. I'm just a passionate person. I call myself extra. I know full and well that I have a lot of energy, but you know what? I am hungry. I am ravenous for success, but I'm thrilled being in the moment and being broke right now and being in Thailand and eating my $1.50 pineapple fried rice and snuggling my husband when I wake up in the morning and then getting behind my computer and hustling. I love it. I thrive on that.
All years like
Oh, yeah.
Setting my keyboard on fire.
Heck yeah, you are on fire, girl. Seriously. It's this like the hustle. Some people are using hustle, I think, in a bad way. And I keep hearing hustle, and I hear hustle as this like, you just got to hustle, you got to grind, you got to get through the pain. Yes, there are moments like when we need to be strong, we need to have the self-discipline to work. But this hustling when we're not in alignment, I think can be soul breaking. And if we're not kind of checking in or taking inventory, like what are we working for? What are we taking, like spending our time on? Is this getting us closer to being a better self, having a better relationship towards our goals? And without a goal, like I thought I hit what I had, or what I had, I thought I had everything that I wanted. And then I didn't have anything to look forward to. I had nothing else to build. I didn't think beyond that. And so when I got there, it's like, whoa, what do I do? Like I'm lost. I'm confused. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. It was crazy, but I think it's just this never ending growth, but not being discontent where we are. Like just, it's not discontent where we are, but being excited, being inspired about the future too. I don't know.
And also, here's another thing. I think a lot of people set a goal that is monetary. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to sit here and very honestly tell you that I so relate to Bruno Mars going like, I want to be a billionaire. That like I can relate to that on a cellular level, but beyond that, that is not what I hustle toward. I am so passionate about helping children. Children to me have always been something that I love. I am very passionate about the community that I grew up in. I grew up in the ghetto of Miami where all of the students are Hispanic. 99.9% of their parents don't speak English. And traveling is so beyond their scope of possibility. I went to school at Miami Senior High School thinking I was never going to leave Miami, that I was going to live with my parents until I was 30, that I was going to be the one responsible for them, that traveling wasn't in my cards. I just didn't grow up privileged or blessed. And what makes me hungry now, and I don't know if like you've seen it even on the tour page, on every page that we have, 10% of every nickel that Chase for Adventure makes is actually going toward a scholarship foundation, the Chase for Adventure Scholarship, where we want to provide scholarships for these disadvantaged students to do study abroad, to show them like, yes, college, but it's not just college. You don't just have to go to college to become a doctor because that's what's going to make your mom happy. Travel, open your horizons, look beyond your circumstances. And we want to be able to make that easier for them. And that to me drives me. What else drives me? My future children. I want to be able to tell them, you have a dream, you need to work for it, baby. Like if your dream isn't to be a doctor, then don't go to college. I'm not saying don't go to college if that's the only thing you want to be, but if it's not aligned with what you want to do, then what is it that you need to do that? And I want to be the example, not just tell them, oh, baby, you want to be a singer, go be a singer. No. Your dad and I, we want to travel the world. What did we do? We sold all of our stuff. We left our families. We went with no money and we figured it out. This is what your path to. So I think that you also need to have happiness comes from gratitude and purpose. And those are things that psychology teaches us as principles. So focus on being gratitude in what you have and find that fire that lights you. And it's not going to be a dollar amount.
I think that I spent about 4 months up on the mountain in Leadville, Colorado. That's when we started talking. Like I had 14ers around me, negative 10 days sometimes, 15 minutes from snowboarding. And I went there looking to heal, but I knew this time that it was only going to be what I took with me. But I think we definitely have this goal of like money because we see it. It is an amazing energy and exchange and something that we can use, but it's not the money. Could have $1 million or $1 billion in your bank account and not be happy. I mean, actors have proven that, singers, I mean, so many people have proven that. But
Yeah.
when people feel that everything would be better if they had more money, I really try to ask them, like, what is it that the money is going to get you? Is it security? Are you feeling really unsafe? Are you scared right now? Are you having a hard time paying your bills? Oh, do you think that that's going to allow you to travel, to have more freedom, to spend more time with your kids or your spouse? Like, it's not the money, it's what the money is going to help us feel. And I think, give us as far as freedoms to buy the healthier foods that we want, or to invest in, the business or the course or those things. But yeah, it's not the money. So like loving the money, but definitely what is the money going to give us? And then what is the feeling that experience is going to give us? So I'm looking forward to my Mexico trip like next month, and I want to go to Thailand next year. I am looking forward to that, but it's not the trip that's going to make me happy. It's those feelings, and I'll visualize and just live into how that's going to feel, and just know that it's coming and be so excited for it now, and not wait for that to come to already be excited for it.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes sense. And there's actually a book by Napoleon Hill, which is called Think and Grow Rich. And
Yes.
You read it?
I did read it.
Yes. So he talks about, you need to visualize whatever your goal is. So like for him, it was $1 million, right? Yeah. You have to visualize and feel as though you already have those $1 million. What does that feel like? Okay, I feel free. I feel, liberated from insecurities. I feel like, I can pay my rent and spend more time with my family. So feel that and find ways to create it now. Yes. We wanted freedom to travel, to spend more time with each other. We didn't wait to have $1 million to make that happen. We went broke as hell and committed to figuring it out. There are tons of people figuring it out along the way. You just need to find that purpose that is going to make you happy, not the dollar bills that will get you that purpose.
We set so many rules for our happiness. Like, I'll be happy when I make this, or I'll be happy when I can travel first class and stay in 5-star resorts. And it's like, some people have these pictures for what that travel would look like, and be like, if you could just change your rules for your happiness, you can enjoy things a heck of a lot sooner, longer, and probably even more so, without having to wait so long or set up this perfect way that it has to be for your relationship to, then be successful, or for your job to be then successful. Like, there are months where I've made double my income of my corporate job, like 2.5 times. And then there's months where it's like, oh my God, I should have eaten beans and rice. Oh, like what happened, but I used to so be hung on that security and that stability. So I thought that would make me happy, but now just feeling and knowing I'm going to figure it out and I can take care of it. Like you guys have, you didn't set this high expectation. I have to have this so that we're perfectly safe and secure. We're going all in and doing it now.
Yeah. We are the opposite of safe and secure, by the way.
If anyone values that, is looking for that, then sign up for one of their trips. And then wait till later maybe to be a digital nomad.
Yes. Or start a business and already be making $4,000 a month, and then you can live wherever the hell you want, right?
Exactly.
But don't do it like we did if what you need is safety and security. This is definitely what we did is reserved for people who are in that pain threshold that we were talking about earlier, that can't live in the way that they are anymore. It's not, it would be nice to do this, I need to do this, or I'm going to be 6 feet under, and that's going to be the end of that.
And this might not even be sell everything and travel the world.
No.
It could be quit smoking, or start working on my relationship, end this relationship, or start working out, or being healthy, or, starting a side passion, or being more intentional with finances, or minimalism, or whatever. I know those are just my personal examples, I guess, that come to mind.
I think you're perfectly right, but I also think that people need to read and educate themselves and level themselves up mentally, because if not, you're never going to bother doing all that. I listened to a podcaster who I love, John Lee Dumas. He does Entrepreneurs on Fire, and he talks about that we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. Well, I have Daniel as 1, but who the hell are the rest of my 4? Well, the rest of my 4 are Melissa Griffin, Jenna Kutcher, John Lee Dumas, and Lewis Howes. People who are insanely motivated, driven, and passionate. And those are the people that I want around me, because those are the people who are going to level me up. listening to podcasts like Flow State Freak, people who show you that there is an alternative to this life that you're not thrilled about. But if you sit there and listen to your friends who are complaining all the time about the shit job that they're never actually going to leave, guess what? You're going to be in that job for the next 10 years complaining about the same things.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. My circle of 5 back in the day was my cyborg husband. I call him a cyborg. He had 2 emotions, sarcasm or anger, negativity and politics, and it was a storm. And then some people at work that were very much like, anxious, limiting beliefs, like complain about not having money and the stress and the drama. And it wasn't until I started consuming something else, I think, was it episode 2, We Become What We Consume, on my podcast, came from this, because until I started listening to other people on YouTube, actually, I would listen to some meditations on YouTube, and that helped me start changing what I was digesting and the people that were in my life. They don't have to be like, oh, I need 5 millionaire friends who live with me. No, like Jenna Kutcher. She was the first podcast I ever listened to. I actually got to meet her in person in Boulder. And just like we were talking, just like we were talking about before we started this, like I knew so much about her. Like I didn't even have any questions for her. We just kind of like talked about it. I already knew like what she was doing, what she was working on. I know there's such a deep level of her personal life, but I didn't want to get that personal with her anyway. So she did share like they went to Rocky Mountain National Park, which is like right up my back door past my parents' house pretty much. So we talked about those things, and she asked me some questions, and she was great. But yeah, surrounding yourself with those people. And, emails, like I get your guys' emails and some people who are great influencers of mine, and I read them weekly. And so they are my 5. It doesn't have to be this replacement. It's good too, if you have a very negative relationship that cannot be worked on, that is toxic, to move out of, but also your friends, those who light you up, spending more time with them. And then those who just really suck your energy. I had this friend that I had to say goodbye to a couple years ago because the way I felt around her, it was just, it wasn't going to allow me to grow. So
absolutely. And that's a sad reality, I think, of even just adulthood, of growing. People talk a lot about how, they want to grow, they want to level up, but leveling up is hard. Just like when you're playing, and I'm going to overly simplify this. When you were playing Super Mario on your Nintendo 64 back in the day, you wanted to get to level 2, and then guess what? You got to level 2 and it was freaking hard. You were pissed. You were on level 2 for months. Then you moved on to level 3. Yeah, you made it to level 3, but then the freaking water level destroys your soul, and that happens in life too. I do that when I'm learning things for my business. Daniel has had to go through pain learning how to video edit. I want to make this transition, but I'm putting the stuff into Adobe Premiere Pro and it's not doing what I want. I had to learn how to code for my website. I wanted to throw my laptop, actually, scratch that. I want to regularly throw my laptop out the door once a week. I tell this to Daniel, but I only get better going through that pain, going through that those growing pains, that discomfort, and then I grow. And now I can write a sales page without blinking an eye, even though 3 months ago it made me cry at my computer.
Yes.
I used to sit in front of my email list not knowing, what do I tell these people? What if I send this email and they realize that I don't know what I'm doing? That imposter syndrome that totally cripples you and overwhelms you and stifles your creativity. I am a lot of personality to handle for my husband, for my friends, for people who don't know me, coworkers. I'm aware of this. And I carry that stigma, that high schooler that was sitting inside of a stairwell eating lunch by herself because she had no friends that wasn't popular. I carry that person in me every day. But guess what? I still go in front of a camera, though it makes me uncomfortable, though I'm afraid that people are going to judge me, though what if this video goes up and nobody watches it? Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
I answer to myself. You have to go through the discomfort to get what you want out of life.
Yep. You guys are just living a life true to yourself. And I feel you with the inner schoolgirl eating. Oh my gosh. I was not popular either. I was so shy and so scared. I think in elementary school, I was petrified to talk in class or anything. I peed my chair once because the teacher told us that we couldn't interrupt until we were done with our test. That's how afraid I was of the teacher. I passed out in high school in one of my classes because I wasn't feeling well. And the exact same thing happened. The teacher said, no, you are not allowed to get up until your, morning quiz is done. Don't even ask to go to the bathroom. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm going to throw up. No, wait, I'm going to pass out. No, wait, I'm definitely going to throw up. And then boom, I'm on the floor. Like I passed out because I was afraid to speak up for myself. I was so shy and so introverted, and she's still there, but she's a lot quieter. Like she's so much more quiet, and now and then like I'll kind of hear her and I'll go, hey, that's cool, but I'm gonna do this instead. Or the 10 seconds of courage thing. I think I talked about that in like one of my videos. But yeah, 10 seconds. I think honestly it's only 5, because the scariest thing is just getting started. It is more traumatizing and scared thinking about what's going to happen or what it's going to be like than the thing actually happening, whether it's like skydiving or bungee jumping. Like you're going to have all this petrified fear and anxiety over it. And then the second you start doing it, you're doing it, you realize it's not quite as painful. And then you just get in this flow. I think one other example would be when I wanted to have this really hard conversation with who's now my ex-husband, was my husband at the time. Like I knew what I kind of needed to say, but like, how do you start? And I think I had a whole week of like his work schedule and mine not really meeting up. And I'm like, how do I say this? How do I start? And then the second I opened my mouth and said the first 3 words, then it just happened. And it was not even close to as painful as any of the time thinking about it or what's going to happen in my head or the stories I played out. Like it was hard, but once I was doing it, it wasn't that hard. And then there was probably 1,000 times after that of, okay, what are we doing with the house and this, and now we have to do this. And like, that happened after that. But yeah, it's just getting started, jumping in. And once you do that, you're gonna, like you said, up level. And it doesn't necessarily become easier because there's new challenges. It's like working out. I love doing my weightlifting, and where before I used to struggle with this like 10-pound weight, now I'm like with the 25. Guess what? It's still just as freaking hard, but it's a 25. It's not a 10 anymore,
That's the same thing like with my website, because right now, and this happens, when everybody's starting their own business, you do all of it yourself. You are the coder, you're the copywriter, you're the graphic designer, you are the face and the voice and the visionary and the strategic planner and the launch strategist. You are everything. Yeah. And I go through those same kind of cycles. It's like, oh my gosh, Daniel, I can't wait until like we're done launching so that I can focus on X. And then I'll start focus on X and be like, oh, but Pinterest traffic and
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
It's like, great. Now I know how to write a sales page. Yeah. That's
oh my
exactly
gosh, totally. But that just really wakes us up for like what's possible. If we look back, sometimes we get so in the grind and see where we're at or start judging where we're at and feeling that difficulty. We don't look back and just go, whoa, a year ago, I was this, or I couldn't do that, or I was eating unhealthy and I wasn't working out at all. And now it's like, I get up and do it without even thinking about it, or starting a business. Like now we feel so struggle and where I need to go and what I need to be doing is like, oh my gosh, when I started like, a year ago or even 2 years ago, like where I had started from and where I came now, like if you're going to look at a gap and ever have a gap focus, do that one sometimes as a check to just see how far you've come. There's times, we have these beautiful sand dunes here in Colorado, like Sand Dune National Monument or something, the Great Sand Dunes. And I always, every time I go there, I hike to like the summit, the very top one. If you block out the 360-degree mountains, it looks like you're in the Sahara Desert. It's amazing. But climbing those sand dunes, it's hard. And you got to do it early before the sand gets hot and is like 100 degrees and, scalds your flesh. But when you're climbing up this sand dune, it is soft. And every time you like put a hand in a foothold, and you push down, you go down almost as much as like you went up. So you're sitting there and you feel like you're not getting anywhere and you're going and you're like, I'm sinking more than I'm climbing. And all of a sudden, if you just stand up and turn on, you go, oh my God, I'm like halfway there. It's crazy.
Huh.
So, but yeah,
that,
same
but that
thing.
Is so true with business and life and growth. That same exact, you framed it perfectly. That sand dune analogy. You're like going up and then you go down a little bit and then you go up a little bit more and then you go down a little bit. But then, at the end of the year, after you've been doing that for, in your case, maybe an hour climbing the sand dune, or in the case of a business, a year into it. Yeah, man, I can't even tell you what the Chase for Adventure website looked like a year ago. I can't tell you what our email list looked like a year ago. Yeah. Our YouTube channel
I can tell you what our logo looked like a year ago. It's kind of rough.
It looked like a child cartoon.
But like you said, we all start from somewhere and we all have to go through that. And if we think that we can just skip it, we can elevate and, use others' experience to, rock it. But we always start from somewhere, and no judgment whatsoever, but just contemplating what's possible. And then seeing where we've come and finding examples in our life of when we've overcome something hard. Like now I'll see something hard and I go, oh my gosh, that's really hard and scary. And go, wait a minute. check yourself. What did you do? I was like, this crazy dragon woman, like going through this divorce. Like I wasn't living at the house, but trying to sell this house on the market. I was getting no help at all. I would show up and I'd be finishing painting and I'd be fixing carpet, like doing all these things. And I did that all during the week when he was actually home there so that I could snowboard during the weekend. I could have waited till he was on his work schedule, but I was like, no, snowboarding is more important to me. I'm going to deal with the discomfort of having him be here watching TV or playing his video games while I do this. And yeah, I know. Yeah. So to sell this house. And then I look back on those moments of when my mom and I were trying to sell the house ourselves. And then he wouldn't go with anything I said. I said, no, we need to have it like this. And we have to stage the home and there's going to be people who are going to come and need to see it. I had to hire a realtor, because we just couldn't compatibly communicate. And as soon as she walked in, she said, oh, we need to do this and this, just exactly
everything
what I
you
said. Yes. And he's like, okay, we can do that. I'm like, you just cost us 6%, man, but that's fine. I was like, you just cost us 6%, but that's okay. So, but yeah, I told her, I'm like, I want this house to sell at this. She's like, that's pushing it a little bit out of the market. I'm like, yeah, but I have this and this, and I found this comparable here. And she's like, okay, let's do it. It sold in a week and a half. I got exactly what I wanted. But,
congratulations.
Yeah, just looking back at these examples where something seemed impossible, or even a professional told you, like, I think that's a little out of your scope, and just sticking to my guns and doing it. Like, find those examples, and I really like to journal them and reread them when I think something's hard or I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to figure something out. It's like, oh no, I got this. This is nothing, or hey, this is next level, but I'm ready for it. So
good for you.
Thank you.
Virtual 5.
High five. Yeah. You guys are awesome. So I think that kind of brings me to my closing question though. Just what's possible always is expanding for us. But for you guys, I know that you guys have really pushed that boundary and continue to do so. But what do you believe is possible for any and every individual on this planet?
So for literally everyone listening to this, you can achieve anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. And I know that sounds like super cheesy and super corny. And I really didn't believe it until we did what we're doing now. But the only difference between us sitting on a couch and us sitting on a bed in Thailand is the fact that we realized what we wanted to do and then we did something about it. And everyone has the power to change their own circumstances. Yeah, there are going to be different kinds of circumstances, different hurdles and like obstacles to overcome. But at the end of the day, if you want to get over it bad enough, you can.
Yeah. Simply made a decision. And frankly, people say, oh, well, I don't have the money at the time. You'd be impressed with how much time you'd have if you quit your job.
It's not going to solve everything.
No, not going to solve everything.
Oh, I know.
But the other bit too, like we started this journey, $25,000 in debt. I had lost my job because of depression. I was no longer getting paid the same that I was. We had bought one-way tickets under the pretense that Daniel was going to make $50,000 a year.
And I lost my job.
And then he lost his job. And what were we going to do? Return one-way tickets? Hell no. We just sold all of our stuff. There was no going back at that point. Yep. So how do you pay $25,000 of debt with two very low income jobs? Like we were making less than we were making in college combined.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How do you do that? Moving into your parents' house, which after being married, do you think that that's the ideal situation? Hell no, that's not the ideal situation for anyone. You have to swallow your pride. You have to make sacrifices. We worked our butts off. We went full-time job, then became babysitters on any time off. And on the weekends and any free time we had was learning photography, learning videography, and leveling up and crying over Photoshop. Yeah. I distinctly remember being on Photoshop. This feels like I'm learning Chinese and this is impossible.
Hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that well said. We would joke about how like, oh yeah, I'll sleep when we get there. Just because if you want something hard enough, you're going to put in the work. You're going to put in the effort, and everyone has the ability. That's the thing.
Yeah. And here's actually, I'm going to harp on my favorite artist he's not an artist. I mean, he's a singer. Okay. His name is Maluma. And Daniel laughs because I really am a huge fan of this guy.
I think it's awesome.
Yes. Okay. Let me explain why. He's the guy. I watched his documentary. The kid's 25 years old. And he is now making, I don't know, billions of dollars, has a private jet and all of his stuff. but he is very upfront about the fact that he grew up in not a particularly affluent side of Colombia. He was almost like the man of the house, helping support his mom and sister when he was in elementary school selling sandwiches. He then made the decision that he was going to become an artist at 16, asked and begged his aunt to get him into a recording studio, and then spent the next year doing everything he could to get in front of audiences, playing for free at medical student audiences, playing at quinceañeras. Anybody who would listen to him rap, reggaeton, or sing, he was there doing it for free. And then guess what? When you do that long enough and you hustle long enough, but you're in alignment, like you mentioned, because his passion was to be a singer and he was not going to give up. Now he has a private jet. Now he's hustling and his life comes with sacrifices. But do you see him changing any of that sacrifice to stop doing what he's doing? No. So if not, did you hear that?
I did hear that. What was that?
It sounds like something's in the wall.
Like a creature or
Yes.
we kind of live where there's like a little bit of a roof overhang, and I think there's a new cat. The place has a new cat.
That cat was in the ceiling a second ago. So if it's not, us, that's like an inspiring story for what's possible, look at every single artist out there. These singers are only singers because they worked until they got in front of the right person. If you live your life going like, oh, well, I'm never going to be a famous Hollywood artist. You're right. If you never go to an audition and show up, you're never going to get a role in a movie. That's just end of story.
Totally. I think that everyone's success is just inevitable if they take aligned action. Yes. And sometimes, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many different forks I went down and I went, oop, nope, that's not the right way. Kind of course correct. Oops, nope, too far. Come back, but I know my success is inevitable and I have defined my own personal success. I think that was step number one, not going off what everybody else kind of considered success. But yeah, aligned action and your success is inevitable for sure.
Amen.
So, yay. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to catch up with you guys in Thailand here soon. So I'm going to be on your page checking your tours. One of these things I think I said before, but I was very scared, very introverted. Talking on a podcast, I didn't even see that as being possible for me. But I'm not much of a singer, especially in public. So I want to break that with karaoke with you guys.
Girl,
yes.
That's going to be some crazy, scary fear. I don't feel like I can sing, but you know what? When I have a really good song on and I'm home alone, I sing. So I'm like, so that's one of my things that I have envisioned for the trip to, overcome this fear of not only speaking in public, but singing. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, rest assured, if you come on the tours, karaoke is like mandatory. Like if you know
I figured no questions asked, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. We'll make sure Annette doesn't take you to the brothels.
Oh.
So I took a friend to a karaoke joint in whatever. Okay, Daniel, no details. All right. We went to Indonesia. You mentioned wanting to go to Bali. I went to a karaoke place and they're actually brothels hidden under the pretense of karaoke, but you get a private karaoke room, wink, wink. And then they have women in there and then they charge you an obscene amount of money for them to sit on your lap.
For them to sing to you?
Right.
We assume
they have something in their hand.
So you're up there trying to sing for free or what?
What was that?
You're up there trying to find a place to sing?
Yeah.
Listen, they looked at me like, oh, honey, you're looking for family karaoke. I'm like, oh.
And then we go to family karaoke. Then she tries making a joke how this place just tried selling us women. And they go, oh, girls? They flip over their menu and they have a girls menu. I'm just like,
skip Bali, come to Thailand.
Yeah. Oh, that was an experience for sure. That's hilarious. So they didn't want to hire you though and be like, oh, you can sing and you're pretty. Are you sure you don't want to stay?
No. For one, a lot of them were lady boys and I kind of lacked the bits for that.
Oh, okay.
And the ones who weren't boys had really big boobs, which I don't have either. So I didn't fit their bill,
but
unfortunately.
You are then the unique exotic treat.
Right.
You could have charged so much more.
You'd think. Oh my gosh, no.
All right,
But
so
honestly,
I will
that's
beware of karaoke and what it can actually mean.
yeah. Well, if you come with us, know that it's not going to be like that. And
Good,
it makes me so
awesome.
happy that you know that there'd be karaoke in the tour, because that is something that Daniel and I are super duper excited about. I feel like something that's so intimidating and so, and this is also what we wanted to do with Chase Your Adventure Tours, is so many other tour companies, like you just show up, they pick you up in like this big old bus. You don't talk to any of the people. The tour guide is really just there to give you information, but then like you guys go to a coffee shop and then they're like on their phone in the corner. And I really want people out there to understand that when they're taking a Chase Your Adventure tour, they're traveling with us. Like we're going to welcome them at the airport. And if they're not huggers, it's going to get really awkward.
That's
You
okay.
know, and
Awkward hugging, all in.
yes, but also just like them understanding that it's not just some tour and we're not just some company. We're two people who are really passionate about what we do, and we're going to do everything in our power to make people feel like they're traveling with friends and family that they actually like and would have chosen. And anyway, my heart's going to bleed a little bit with the emotions, but that's, it makes me happy that you know that, because that's exactly what would happen.
I can tell you guys just ooze it. Seriously. I didn't expect anything else from your excursions and trips, and just talking to you about the trips, I knew that I'd just be so well taken care of, be greeted as a friend. I know we're kind of already distant friends, but that anyone coming in would just feel like a friend and have like a community group. And I know I said something about how we take with us what we want on trips, but it can truly be transformative when we surround ourselves with amazing people, and when we have experiences to change our thoughts and our beliefs. We do change our states with experiences. And you can have a transformative journey with whatever it is you're looking for, to, more joy, more freedom, to be more brave, whatever it is. You can have that, especially when you set the attention in it and provide an environment like you guys are going to provide, I know. So
yeah. And it's actually an environment that we're providing even before the tour starts. I think that something else that other tours don't do enough of, and we've taken tons of tours, especially when we were in Europe, is getting people excited before the trip. So we have like a Facebook community, and we're going to have icebreakers. And I have actually, as part, like when people book the tours, I'm running them through Teachable. And so it's literally going to include like Thai phrases, how to negotiate. So like, people can actually come to Thailand excited, feeling prepared, feeling confident. I even guide them like how to get through the airport, what to expect in the airplane when they give you the slip, like how do you fill out the slip?
Oh my gosh.
Like the whole entire process, so that people feel like they booked and now they're getting like scooped up and held through the process.
Yeah. And it's so that like when people actually are in country and they're able to fully enjoy and experience this beautiful place that we've gotten the opportunity to call home, as lucky as we are. And I don't know, I guess like when you go to somewhere new, you always spend so long trying to figure out X, trying to figure out Y and Z, and all that's just going to be taken away.
Or being anxious about what that's going to be like when you land at the airport, and are the signs in English? Are they just in Thai? How will I find my flight? You don't have to worry about that. We got you. What happens when you have all sorts of dirty laundry? We're going to go take your laundry to the laundromat, and we're going to get it taken care of for you. I just want people to focus on using those 2 weeks that they have off, because a lot of people, we understand, work 9 to 5 jobs, and just be able to focus on living life for those 2 weeks. I want people to come on these tours and be able to just experience the world authentically and not be scared. To just be able to live life.
Well
I
said.
love the idea of like meeting and kind of chatting with people that would be on the group first. So they're cutting all this time of all this stress of figuring everything out. You're making that time so much more valuable for people. This time, like trying to get to know others in the group, that could take a day or two. That's already done. So that every single second of that trip, every single hour is in full enjoyment, 'cause all the prep's done, all the fear, the worry, the figuring out, it's gone.
I want people to like be excited to meet their new friends. I want them to be like, oh my gosh, I've been talking to Monica for like the last 4 months, and she seems so cool, and she's sharing all of these funny memes in the Facebook group. Like that's what I want. I want to travel with friends that are like family, and that be the focus of the tour.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to join you guys on a tour. I don't know which one yet, but it's going to happen. It's happening. And I hope it's in 2020. And you also have another trip planned for 2021. Do you have any idea?
Not yet. So
Not
we
yet.
will have
Okay, but you
trips.
will be doing trips in 2021 too, in case someone's
Yes.
listening to this way down the road.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we don't have a country yet. We don't have a plan yet. We
Okay.
haven't booked anything for that yet, and we're not selling that tour yet.
I'm
2020,
sure.
March of 2020, November of 2020, Thailand. Be there or be square.
Yay! Oh my gosh. I'm sure wherever it is, it's going to be totally vetted and the best of the best. Cause that's, I mean, you guys are able to check out all these countries and find the best spots. So spending all that money and time flying somewhere and going, oh, I should have went here afterward. And oh, I didn't get to experience the best of the country or have the best experience. So yeah, you guys go vet all of that, and maybe even like way future could be India or something.
We thought about it actually.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that all of the tours in the future are places that we're passionate about. And so,
Yes.
and that's also why as of right now, we don't really have any other country in mind, because right now I can't authentically sell a tour to anywhere else because there's no place that I love more than Thailand right now. You know, maybe we go to India and that place is amazing. And then, oh my God, that's where the tours are happening next. But frankly, I'm not going to waste somebody's money to come all the way to the opposite side of the world to have a subpar experience.
And their time.
A lot of people only get 2 weeks off, and that's it. And you're grinding the rest of the year. And I would be heartbroken if someone were to come to a place that we didn't fully believe in, and for them to not feel as if they were able to enjoy themselves.
Yeah. Totally. Not to mention that I don't have a fake bone in my body, and I just can't. I can't.
You can't sell something.
No, I would be awful. I'd be like, so this place has water, and the tour. I would be focused on like the
trees.
Yes, and not like the story of like sitting on Rayleigh Beach and feeling like that place is literal heaven, you know?
Yeah.
Or pineapple fried. Like I'm gonna go into another harp.
That's
I love
okay.
Thailand. I can talk about it for years. And 2021, yes, we don't have a country yet.
Okay, but yeah, tours are not going away. But yeah, I'm so grateful for your edition, the November edition. That's a surprise to me. So I'm super stoked about that. So yeah, hopefully I'm joining you guys in karaoke in November.
Girl, it's gonna be so fun. So you better make it there.
Know. Well, oh my gosh, I've had the most amazing time chatting with you guys. I want to do it again soon too.
Yes.
We'll come up with some other time, and then in person karaoke and all that fun that's going to happen. But where can people find you? chaseforadventure.com. But the amazing videos, like adorable, hysterical. I cry in laughter. Like, I think like the monkey with the kid one was like just one of those I had to keep rewatching you, Annette, over and over again. Yes, or you go grab this child because this monkey's like gonna go attack him, and then you're like, that, oh, afterward you're just, oh, that was the, you know, I just had to watch that like 3 times.
So fast.
I know. Oh man, but yeah, living vicariously, because like I'm so in love with where I am now. I'm so excited for the future of traveling, but being able to just watch you guys and experience it now, this planet, this world, I think natural wonders are just the thing that light me up and go crazy, like saving photos and growing up here in Colorado, like the waterfalls, the mountains, and, you know, visiting the beaches that I go to on vacations. Like that is one of those things that just brings my soul alive and gives me energy, being in nature. And yeah, being able to watch and see these amazing places through your videos is better than, I don't know, like seeing it in pictures or like, you know, National Geographic. It's like, I feel like I'm there with you guys. It's awesome.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, I'm on the jet ski. This is awesome. It's really windy. Oh my goodness. So yeah. So YouTube, what is your YouTube?
So everything is going to be under actually Chase for Adventure.
Awesome.
So yeah, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, on Pinterest, all of it.
Perfect. Yeah. Your Instagram stories are great. Your Instagram stories are so awesome.
Well, and they come every single day, which is, I think that's why everybody just needs to follow us on all the platforms, on our emails. So when you go on chaseforadventure.com, we have an opt-in freebie, which is 50 creative ways to make money while traveling the world, if that's what you're into. But we also have tons of resources regarding things like Thailand and Thailand itineraries and negotiation strategies. And we actually have a full resource library that everybody gets access to when they do subscribe. So if they wanted how-tos and how to live this lifestyle and more information based in, you know, reading format. That's going to be the email list if they want to explore this big, beautiful world with us. And we also do informational videos there every single Monday. We have a Nomadic Monday series where we teach people and show people what this lifestyle is like. That's going to be over on our YouTube channel. And if you want to see us just be us and be goofy and sarcastic and funky and eating really delicious food every day, Instagram stories for sure.
Heck yeah. No, I love those stories. That's awesome. The boba tea and that tea recipe you sent me. I have yet to try that. I want, I can't try it there. I'm going to try to make it from home, but I'm going to have to compare it when I get over there.
Oh my God, but this was in Taiwan, the boba tea.
Oh, Taiwan. Okay.
Yeah, we were in Taipei during that time.
Taipei, yes. Okay.
And I don't like boba tea. And man, that was just some special things.
Yeah, I can't wait to try the food over there. You guys make me hungry, I think, almost every time I watch it. Food's a big thing, I've noticed.
It's a huge thing for us.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Like almost the most, if I don't like the food in the country, and I actually think that's why I love Thailand so much, we haven't been anywhere else where the food is as consistently fantastic as Thailand. Even the food at 7-Eleven, it is absurd.
Gas station food.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I am dead serious. We thought about doing like a food review of the 7-Eleven food in Thailand. We were actually, this is going to be a surprise, so don't let the other people on the tour know. But we're going to include them in one of the videos and go to 7-Eleven and just get one of every snack. And we're just going to binge on 7-Eleven snacks because they're so good. It's just bizarre.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Oh, okay. Well, we better stop talking before we reveal any more secrets, just in case someone heard that. So yeah, I know you have so many secret things kind of lined up and really awesome. Just like, I don't want to say too much, but the excursions and the special treats and activities and everything, like if I were to plan a trip, like I couldn't have put better stuff in there. Like seriously. I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. So I think people can call you to talk about the trip though, right?
Yes, they could schedule a consultation right on the website. So you'll probably link it somewhere.
Yep. Nope. I'm going to link it. Yeah. In the show notes, but yeah, on my website, we'll have a direct link, but I guess they can start at chaseforadventure.com if they're just listening right now in their car or something too.
They can go on chaseforadventure.com. On the top menu, there's tours. They could click that and then they can schedule a consultation all the way to the bottom.
So I had a blast talking to these two, and I'm sure you will too. Go ahead and go find them on YouTube and Instagram at Chase for Adventure. And this whole conversation brought up a topic and something that I definitely want to share and I'm ready to share. It's a little bit of a secret and something that some people would see as a bad thing, but I'm going to share with you a trait of mine that's definitely seen as a negative and bad thing, but I think by the time I'm done sharing it with you that you might also agree with me. That it's actually a superpower and something that can be used for good. And I think it's definitely something that you can start using in your life to have less stress, less anxiety, more time, more relaxation, and really start, making lasting changes and living a life more true to yourself. So I'm ready to share that. Go ahead and listen in on episode 8. It's going to be much shorter than this, so stay tuned. That one is coming out here shortly. So make sure you subscribe on iTunes or follow on Spotify so that you're notified and can see when that new episode goes live. If you don't have either of those, you can listen to every podcast episode and read the highlights in a blog post or watch additional videos at flowstatefreak.com. I'm actually going to have both of the videos of this over on my website as well, so you can see Annette and Daniel as they're talking. We are making faces, we are, air fiving. So if you want to watch the video of this conversation, you can jump over to flowstatefreak.com and then click on listen to podcasts in the upper right hand corner, and you'll see those episodes with their beautiful faces on them, episode 6 and episode 7.